Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2. What a game this was. Fiery, feisty game. Great action, drama, red cards, all over the place. Let's talk about it. So, the first half from both teams I thought was pretty back and forth, pretty even. I actually thought Tottenham probably were the slightly better team just because they had the better chances. Liverpool really weren't creating much before the red card, and the Xavi Simons red card, clear red. Stupid, boneheaded play from Xavi Simons. Arguably Tottenham's best player. Nah, I would say one of Tottenham's best players in that game. I thought he was pretty good. He's been kind of this season, but I thought he was good until he got sent off. Until he put his team down a man, and even after that red card, I thought Tottenham handled themselves pretty well. Um, the counterattacking style is what Thomas Frank is more used to. I think that's you can kind of see that this Tottenham team should be built a little bit more to play on the counter. Maybe they pick up someone in January that can help with the counter, probably a left-sided winger, because they had no creativity on that side. And Liverpool started creating some chances, but I didn't feel like they were really outright better than Tottenham. Even when Isak got the goal, it came from a terrible mistake from Romero in the second half. Does not need to pass that ball at all. Does not need to play that pass on his weaker foot. Had two players he could pass to. He could have gave it back to Vicario. Could have gave it to Van der Ven. Could have hit it even wide to Jed Spence. And he chose to. I don't know where he was going. I don't know who he was hitting it to. Just really, really poor from Romero. And again, his red card later on in the game just shows that this guy. I don't understand how he's Tottenham's captain. I don't understand why this guy is given responsibility. He has consistently shown over the last couple of years that he is boneheaded. He's a bozo. He gets way too fired up, way too emotional in these moments, and lets his team down in stupid ways time and time again. He has really good performances, and I think he is a good player, a good center back, one of the better center backs in this league. But his temper and his IQ sometimes really leaves more to be desired with him. But Liverpool get that goal. Really good play from Verts, Isak, and I forget who else was involved in that play, but just really quick little 3-on-2 scenario. Good finish from Isak. But this sport, it gives and it takes. Yes, you get the lead. You get a goal that ultimately led to you winning and moving up the table, progressing yourself into a Champions League spot. But you lose your most expensive player, one of your best players, your backup striker, in an attack that already is thin without Mohamed Salah, with now an injured Isak, without Diego Jota, may he rest in peace, and Luis Diaz in the summer. Didn't really bolster the attack, and now you're out arguably your two best attackers. Ekitike's probably been their best forward this season, but going into the season, I mean. Then Tottenham don't really do a whole lot in between the second goal. I just feel like the passing was just poor passing. Not moving the ball quick enough, but also not picking out the right pass. Bergval really bothered me with some of his passing. I just felt like he was so negative and he would just slow down the play unnecessarily, kind of like Odegaard. But he does not have near the ability that Odegaard does. That's why it's a little more frustrating with him and not with Bergval. But second goal, great header from Ekitike. Nothing Vicario can really do. Maybe you could say he could do better on the Isak goal just because his hand came pretty close to it, but it's right in the top corner. It's like looping, like it's tough save. There's probably going to be some Tottenham fans who feel hard done by the push in the back. but I don't think it's I don't know. I don't think it's a foul. I think if the ref gives it, you're annoyed, but somewhat understandable. I don't think it's as egregious as Joe Linton against Gabrielle a couple of years ago. But Liverpool go up two. They're cruising in this game. Tottenham look dead in the water. Outside of a chance for Colomwani with a great run. Who this guy Colomwani should have come off after the, should have came off. I think it was in the first half when he had that header and he just put absolutely nothing on it. I've seen toddlers head the ball with more power, more pace than that. But Richarlison comes on and gets the goal, makes this a game now. Liverpool get pinned back, and they look so poor in the last 20 minutes of this game. 15, 20 minutes with all the added time. I think the commentator said it, that they should have been holding onto the ball. You're up a man. Just control it, and keep it, and just press them. You have an extra man to press with. What are you doing? Even when they went down to 9 men, Tottenham still were pinning them back. And obviously, they got the win. So, it doesn't really matter, does it? But I just thought, I did not think Liverpool were great today. I don't think this Liverpool team has improved greatly. I think all the talk about, Mo Salah, and he's the problem, the attack, it's not flowing with him. I don't get it. I don't think you see that. I don't think you see that in the Leeds game where he didn't play. Yeah, they scored 3 goals, but he also let up 3 goals. And you looked at very poor moments. In this game, having the extra man in midfield, they played 5 midfielders, and Ekitike is a solo striker. And I know Verts might have counted as like a second striker, and McAllister as a 10, so it's like that's almost a front 3, but it really didn't look like that. It really didn't feel like that. I think if you're going to do that, Arne Slot, I know he just came back from injury, and he actually did get subbed off because he was bleeding, but Jeremy Frimpong is probably the fullback that you want to put in on the right-hand side to give that attacking width. I thought that going into the season, he would be used more as a wing back when Mohamed Salah, because everybody knew that Salah was going to AFCON this year. And even when he looked poor and they were taking him out of the team, I thought, all right, maybe he shifts into a back 3. But they don't have the center backs for it. Maybe you put Gravenberch as a third center back, and you have Frimpong bomb up and down the wing. I don't know. Not a tactical genius, but just a thought, food for thought. In this game, I wouldn't say any Liverpool player was outstanding. I thought Ekitike was solid. I mean, just another solid performance from him. He's probably been the best striker outside of Haaland in this league. Arguably signing of the season, maybe behind Granit Xhaka. Definitely Liverpool's best forward. My man of the match, honestly, is Florian Wirtz. I thought he was phenomenal today. I thought everything went through him in the Liverpool attack. I thought everything came from him. I thought he was really, really good today. Someone who's obviously gotten a lot of stick for how he's played this season, but he got his first. Is this his first Premier League GNA this season? No way, right? Oh my, it is. He's not 0012 or 0013 or whatever the hell he is. But I thought he was very good today. I think he's actually been improving. It's good to see from a player of his quality to finally be adjusted to this league. It's easy to jump on people and call them shit and call them a flop this early on. That's not the same as critiquing them and saying that they haven't been good this season and they've been underwhelming. But you can't make an overarching statement that even after one bad season, one bad first season in the Prem, especially for such a young player, that they're shit, they're washed up, they're this, that, and the third. Because some players take a little bit longer to get into this league. I believe Rodri didn't even really find his feet until his second season for Man City. And kind of gets overshadowed because they're winning trophies in that time. And then he obviously went on to score the winning goals in the Champions League, win a Ballon d'Or, be an integral player for Spain, yada, yada, yada. Outside of that, I thought Curtis Jones was really, really bad today. Konate was a little all over the place. I feel like McAllister could have had a bigger impact. Kirk I thought, just going forward, he provided almost nothing. He got it to the right areas, but again, his final ball and his decision making, I just did not feel was good. Which is the thing that he was kind of seen as, is that you signed Frimpong and Kirkhez. They're two attacking fullbacks. You signed all these attacking players despite having such a thin attack. I didn't really see it today from Liverpool. Tottenham, I believe, created more chances than them on the stat sheet. They had more GNA. They had more. What's it called? They had more XG. They had more shots on target. Oh, actually, no, they had the same shots on target, but that's not the point. As for Tottenham, it was an all over the place performance. I thought first 30 minutes was good. I thought Van de Ven is their only competent defender. But Colomwani, I don't know what the point of this guy is. Yeah, he bagged twice against PSG. He started scoring goals. I think this guy's awful. I believe it's a loan, which is good for Tottenham. Do not make the same mistake you made with Matthias Tell and sign this guy on a permanent. He is not worth it. Go out and get a better striker. Maybe a younger striker. Richarlison should have came on so much earlier in this game, because even as bad as Richarlison is, he's on a great goal-scoring season. 7 goals in the Prem this season for him. Scored in some big moments. Scored some wonder goals against Arsenal. Scored a double in the first game of the season. I forget against who. Was it Burnley the first game of the season? I don't remember. I think taking off Mohamed Kudus too was kind of bizarre for Thomas Frank to do. I feel like he's probably their best player outside of Van der Ven. I know he wasn't maybe having his best game, but I still think he could have made way more of an impact than Brandon Johnson did, and maybe you stick Johnson on the left instead, because I don't feel like Oda Bird came on and really did anything that Brandon Johnson couldn't from the left-hand side. And then you have the ability to cut inside and on both wings. You don't really need, I know maybe having a right-footed left back and having a right-footed left winger screws up, overlaps and stuff, but on the right side at least, Poro would have been able to overlap. Kudus would have been able to come more inside. But yeah, I think Tottenham could be frustrated with the performance, but have some things to pick out of it. This team is still very much underperforming in this league. They sit 13th now. If Fulham win, they jump ahead of them. No one else can really jump them, but being 13th in the league, more losses than wins. Only one win in your last how many fixtures in the Premier League? In the Premier League specifically, obviously they beat Slavia Prague last midweek. But they've only beaten Brentford, and they've only beaten Brentford since their last win, 3-0 win against Everton in the end of October. I don't know what you do from this point in time. They obviously need to overhaul a lot of the squad. There's a lot of dead weight in the squad. You need an out-and-out left back. People love to harp on Jed Spence. I do not see it with this guy. I think he's overrated to an extent. He's not a bad player, but I don't think he has the quality. I know he's out of position, but that's what people were ranting and raving about him for, is being out of position and performing so well. I just don't see it. The midfield definitely needs something else. João Paulinho's come in and probably been your best midfielder this season, and I don't think he's of the quality that Tottenham should be looking at. I think he's fine as a 6. You definitely need another 6 to put in ahead of him. You definitely need more creativity outside of Xavi Simons. You definitely need a left-sided winger to replace Mohamed Salah. Probably 2, because I don't think Odegaard is cutting it. And you need another striker, another defender, because I just don't sell Romero to Atletico. Let him go and just bring in somebody else, because Van der Ven it's going to hit a point where this guy has to leave, because this team is just so shit and so inconsistent. So yeah, good on Liverpool. You got the win. Not the most convincing win at the end of the game. For large parts of the game, it just seemed like you were going to cruise to a win, but they did not. You're up into 5th. Level on points with Chelsea. Crystal Palace win. They go ahead of you. Manchester United win against Villa. They go ahead of you. Could fall down to seventh, but I don't see United being Villa. I see Palace probably beating Leeds. Maybe they get a draw. Um, but this is a lot of people counted out Liverpool. They're 8 points off of City. If Arsenal win today, they're 10 points off of them. I never counted them out of the title race. I'm not saying they're still going to win the league or they're still maybe in a title race, but they're still going to finish in the top four. It was a little bit of an overstatement to say that they wouldn't this season. They're starting to find their feet a little bit. I think bringing in a Semenyo in January, bringing in just someone up front, and probably a center back, um, because it seems like it looks like they might resign Kanate. I don't know. Maybe they're still making that decision. And who knows if Gahey might be tempted to go somewhere else, go to Madrid, go to Barca, or go to Bayern Munich with them losing Upamecano as of right now. It's the two ends. I think the midfield, you have so much quality. Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai this season. Wirtz is finding his feet. Curtis Jones didn't have his best game, but he's still a solid player. You have Harvey Elliott out on loan who can come back and fill in some of these roles. The defense and the forward line. That's really what you should be looking at in the transfer window. If they get a big signing in the attack, I think this team could finish third. I think they'll finish around where Chelsea does. If Villa keeps their form up, maybe they get out of the top four. But fifth might be enough to get Champions League. So kind of rambling at this point, but yeah, it was a really good game. Really entertaining from a neutral point of view, especially at the end. Both teams take things from this performance, but I wouldn't be satisfied with it if you're either fan base. So yeah, Arsenal versus Everton in a couple of minutes. We need to win. I'll talk to you guys after that. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this game, about Liverpool, about Spurs, about what I had to say. And yeah, that's it for me. Peace.